Okay, so what I'm going to do now is show you what to do with these claims and counterclaims. Now, we've kind of switched the order of these around, where we're going to begin with a positive claim about Judson Webb, then focus on the negative counterclaim that is actually more accurate. And then I'm going to show you the steps that you can walk through to create what's called a two-sided synthesis. And you're basically trying to combine the insight from the positive claim and the negative claim to come up with something three-dimensional. We've got a two-sided synthesis where we're trying to acknowledge both sides of his character, to say something deep about the nature of his personality. Then we're going to try and use that to decide what the writer's argument about a theme is, and we'll get onto that in a second, but we're going to start with the claim and counterclaim. So we've begun here in this example with the positive claim that Judson Webb is a successful businessman, and we see that because he is materially wealthy. We see that he has great wealth in the story. That's evident in the setting. It's also evident in the phrase when he describes having made a great pile. He's made a great pile in the story. The negative counterclaim to this, which is something that we also see, is that he is covetous and materialistic. And that as a result of that, he lacks feeling. He lacks emotional intelligence as a character. He's focused only on the external world. And so what we're then trying to do here is combine the two. And so what we've got generally is a whilst something, something, something sentence, the character also displays. You're trying to come up with a sentence that is usually using more than one clause to say more than one thing about a character. So the simple combination looks like this. Whilst Judson Webb is evidently successful in the world of business, and then we switch, he is equally lacking in feeling as a result of his materialistic life. So we've got there, in this full sentence, the two components combined. And what this means is that we're not saying something straightforward in one sentence, just simply Judson Webb is a successful businessman, or Judson Webb is evil and he's materialistic. It's giving us a three-dimensional approach to his character that takes into account the positive elements of his character, even with someone like him who is clearly unpleasant, but then equally takes into account the negative, opposite of those positives, so that what we end up with is something much more complex and subtle. Judson Webb is successful in the world of business. He's equally lacking in feelings as a result of his materialistic life. We've got two ideas being slammed together here to make a very much more precise statement about his character. And the reason that this is evaluative is because we have taken into account both sides in order to make this claim. Often what students do when they think of evaluation, they think that just simply showing the two sides of the character or the two sides of the argument is enough. You can say some people see Judson Webb as a successful businessman, while others see him as materialistic and selfish. But what that suggests is that you haven't actually made sense of these two different sides. This sentence makes sense of it because it's basically coming down on this negative counterclaim side. We're ending the sentence with this and subtly suggesting that this is the most relevant feature of his personality. So this is the third step, synthesizing claim and counterclaim into a complex statement about a character. What we want to do then is use this type of statement to think about what we would call the writer's arguments about a theme.